All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, from wherever you are joining us. Maybe before we start, we should wait for some time for people to join. Scholar Musbao,
Yeah, I'm with you, sir.
yeah, have you shared the link on the platform?
Yes, I've done that, and I'm
All
doing
right.
that.
So yeah, let's wait a little bit so that we can have people join before we start.
All right.
I think we have over 40 people registered for this program. Okay, so we have people joining already. So let's wait a little bit more to have more people.
Oh, sorry. Is the Scholar Daniel here?
Yes, Scholar Daniels is here.
Oh, oh, that's
I greet
great. I
every one
just
of
want to
us.
confirm.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so
Okay,
much.
okay. You're welcome.
All right, we have people joining us already. So thank you everyone for joining. The section will soon start.
All right. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you so much for joining. The session will soon start. Let's wait for just one more minute so that we can start. And let's see, how many more people are going to join before we can so that we can start.
All right, Scholar Samuel, I think we can start.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. Once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are joining us. My name is Omotunde Samuel Shegun, and I'll be your moderator for this HISF monthly webinar series. Today, we are going to be talking about the PTDF Overseas Scholarship. And again, we want to use this opportunity to join our viewers and joining us here, we have four scholars amidst us across four streams of the PTDF Overseas Scholarship who are going to be sharing their experiences as scholars or recipients of this prestigious scholarship. So I hope that our viewers will sit down quietly as we listen to them one after the other. So I'm going to give a brief overview of the session, and then I introduce the first speaker. So again, for this program, for today's program, we are going to be having four speakers across the four different streams of the scholarship who are going to be talking to us about different aspects of the scholarship. So each of these scholars, have a limited amount of time to speak on their topic, And after the four of them has, dished out the information they have for us today, there will be a lot of time for our viewers to ask their questions. So I want to implore you all to write down your questions as each of the session is, going on. Write down your questions so that at the end of the presentations, we can have the scholars answer the questions. Okay. So our first speaker is going to be Scholar Olaseyinde. Scholar Olaseyinde is going to be our first speaker. And Scholar Olaseyinde is a 2023-2024 PTDF scholar. He's one of the recipients of the Germany stream. So Scholar Olaseyinde will have the floor. But before I allow him to have the floor, I would like to introduce him to our viewers. Scholar Olaseyinde is currently a PhD student in material science and engineering under the PTDF Scholarship. He is in his first year at Frederick Alexander University, Ellingen, Nürnberg. I believe you will be able to pronounce it better. In Germany. He had his bachelor's degree in physics electronics from Ekiti State University, EXU, in Ado Ekiti, Nigeria, where he graduated as the best graduating student in 2016 and his master in technology degree in electronics and electronics maintenance and instrumentation from Federal University of Technology, Akure, Nigeria. Femi is an associate researcher with International Research Training Group, IRTG 2495, Germany, and also served as the event officer 2025 of the Federation of Doctoral Students in Germany, Bundesverband Promovierendev. I believe he's going to help me to pronounce it when he's going to start his session as the only African among top officials. So we are so happy to have you, Scholar Olaseyinde Femi, and you can have the floor.
Thank you so much. Scholar Samuel, thank you so much. Can you all hear me? Yeah, I need to confirm the audibility. Can everyone hear me?
Loud and clearly.
Yeah, you're audible.
Oh, that's great. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the warm welcome, Scholar Samuel. And before I start presenting my slide, I would like to appreciate HISF for deeming it fit to organize this webinar. It's indeed lovely to find a means to giving back to the community that made us. I want to appreciate HISF. I've been part of HISF since 2022 when I was looking for scholarship. And now I'm a scholar, and it's really good to give back to the community. Moreover, I want to appreciate all other scholars that have seen it fit also to come on board. Scholar Haj, Scholar Daniel, Scholar Esther, and every other scholars. It's really impactful to be here. And I want to share my experience with us. I'm a fast speaker. I want to tender my own reserved apology, but I will try and be slow with my speech so that we can all be in consonant with the information I'll be passing across. I want to share my experience, how I got a PTDF scholarship. What really happened in the 2022 when I applied for PTDF scholarship. I applied for local stream and for second masters. So I was shortlisted for an interview. So I went for the interview, and afterwards I was denied of the interview of the scholarship. I didn't get the scholarship. So I have to re-engineer my direction because I know that if I can be shortlisted for the interview, I can get the scholarship. So in 2023, I applied again. This time around, I'm not applying. I didn't apply for local. I applied for overseas scholarship, and not for masters. I applied for PhD because failure has redirected my path. I know where I failed. And one thing I always tell every intending scholar, If you want to get a scholarship, you must understand that you need to pay attention to details. You can never get a scholarship without paying attention to details. So that was what I did when I lost the scholarship in 2022. So I knew where the problem lies. In 2023, I hit hard. I was able to discover where the problem was and was able to understand the concepts, and I got the scholarship. And now I would like to share my slide so that I can present what I have for us. Scholar Samuel, I have 20 minutes, I guess.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll be sharing my slide now. Scholar Samuel have done the introduction. I'm presently a PhD student in material science and engineering, Friedrich Alexander University, Erlangen-Nuremberg, Germany. Is in Bavaria, which is Bayern Munich. Bayern. So let me share my slide. Okay. Can you see my slide? Can everyone see my slide?
Not yet.
I've uploaded my slide and okay.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Yes, I can see your slide now.
Okay. I'm coming. Okay. I'll be speaking on writing the compelling SOP, which is statement of purpose, and also how to write a compelling concept note, which is referred to as a research proposal. And so in writing statement of purpose or a concept note, you need to understand the concept behind it. I always tell people, before you can get a scholarship, one thing that is so essential, you need to understand the mandate of the scholarship body. People did not just sit down and organize a body without having a mandate. So if you don't understand the mandate of the body and you just apply, it's you might not get the scholarship. So if you understand the mandate and tailor everything you want to do around the mandate, then it's possible you get the scholarship. And if you're able to be shortlisted for an interview, then you can get the scholarship. Not that you can get it. So my overview, the introduction, and I will try and elucidate on how to write a winning statement of purpose. And I'm going to also walk around how you can write a compelling research proposal, also known as the concept note. Then escaping application tracking system. Then I'm going to conclude. Now, when the purpose of a thing is unknown, abuse is inevitable of such thing. So you must be able to understand the purpose of why PTDF was established in 1973. What is the essence of establishing such body and what they stand for? So if you understand all this, then applying for their scholarship won't be a problem. Now, the goal of PTDF is to bridge human capacity with technological advancement in relation to oil and gas industry. Now, if what you study it's not in line with oil and gas, if you're smart enough, you can tailor anything you study towards oil and gas. I always tell people, don't disqualify yourself. Let them disqualify you. If you study French and you think you can apply for PTTF, you're not smart enough. It's based on each. State. Are you sure that the person or the people that are coming or applying from your state are good enough? you're not, no one is better than anybody. Everybody, we are all trying. So you can apply. Now, the futures of writing a winning statement of purpose. I'll try and enumerate the futures, and I'm going to explain them so that we can understand the concept behind this. I applied for master's stream that was local in 2002, so I know what it takes to write a winning statement of purpose, which statement of purpose is meant for masters, and the concept note is meant for the PhD. So I know what it takes to write SOP, statement of purpose. Now, don't forget, statement of purpose is different from personal statement. So if you're writing a statement of purpose, you must understand the reason behind you writing the statement of purpose. It's called statement of purpose. So don't try to write, or don't try it and mess it up by writing a personal statement, because this must be able to solve a problem. Now, there are guidelines for writing a statement of purpose, and it is published on PTDF website. So, like I said earlier, you must be able to pay attention to details. Try and check what is obtainable to write the statement of purpose in order to win PTDF scholarship. The first on my list is 1 page, 500 words. So if you're writing statement of purpose to apply for PTDF scholarship, either LSS or OSS, just a page is okay with 500 words. It's stipulated on the PTDF website, in which you can first check before you start applying. Then afterwards, don't be generic, be creative with specifics. Now, when you're writing a statement of purpose, you must be creative with it. It's your statement of purpose. Don't use AI, artificial intelligence, to write the statement of purpose. You can use it ethically for guidance, but if you use it, you can be easily caught, because there are some generic words that will be used, and easily you can and you'll be cast out of the pool. So if you're writing, don't be generic, be creative with specifics. Then thirdly, you must write chronologically. You must be able to write chronologically with a logical flow. Now, let me give you an instance. Whenever you're writing a statement of purpose and you're trying to tell your story, like what is motivating you, you must be able to connect it with the years things happen, and the present, and what you plan to achieve in the future. Now, maybe in 2022, I applied for PTDF local scholarship, and in 2023, I applied for OSS PhD scholarship. Now, chronologically, that of 2022, pardon my manners, 2022 will come first before 2023. So, and also, you must be able to use a connector to connect each paragraph. All this counts, which has to be a logical flow. Like the person reading it must be able to flow with your information and read that it's gonna be interesting for him. Because if it's not interesting, they'll just drop it like, okay, and pick other ones to read. Then the the fourth on my list is structural presentation. Start with the real life challenges that fuel your passion. This will always crave the indulgence of reader to know how you were able to solve the real life challenges that befell you. So when you're writing with real life challenges that as fuel your passion, they will want to learn, or they want to know what really happened and how were you able to solve that problem. So that will give them the temerity to know that no, this can face life challenges even when it's been awarded the scholarship. Then PTDF mandate alignment, which means like energy transition, capacity building, sustainable development. I've laid emphasis on this before. That doesn't mean that if you study anything, you should not apply. All you need to do is just to think outside the box and apply. Just make sure that what you're doing is in alignment with PTDF mandate. If what you're writing is not in alignment with PTDF mandate, you will be among the first that will be out of the pool because you don't fall within the confines of PTDF mandate. Then the fifth one, career goals. Now, why you choose the course and the country and how it will meet your skill gap and impact oil and gas sector in Nigeria. All this has to be well stipulated in the statement of purpose. You need to be able to write your career goal, why you choose a country, why are you going to the country, what are you going to do there, what are the things that you observe that the country can offer you, what are the things that you know that when you're able to get in that country, you will come back and give back to the community that sent you forth to that country. So all this must be well stipulated in that statement of purpose. I chose Germany because I know that, okay, STEM and what have you, I will be able to achieve a certain goal and come back and impact my community. Then concise academic achievement and professional trajectories. Now, some people doesn't have academic achievement, but definitely there's no how you're going to, if you don't have academic achievement, definitely you have professional achievement. So all this achievement is your selling point. You must be able to write it out, bring forth your best foot, write your professional achievement, or if it is either academic achievement or professional achievement, write it. There is nobody without an achievement on earth. You might not, you might think it's small. Nothing is small. Write it. They can only assess you based on what they see. Nobody can assess you based on what they don't see. They can only assess you based on what you write. Nobody will assess you based on what they don't see. So you must be able to write it so well so that they will be able to assess you. Then conclusion. Conclusively, you must be able to summarize all what you've done, like all what you've written. You must be able to summarize because it's 500 words and just a one page. You must be able to be smart enough and make it to flow within a page. Don't try to impress them and be writing 2 pages or 1.5 page. You will be disqualified. Then afterwards, proofread it. Try and proofread it. There are a lot of applications that can use to proofread your statement of purpose so that it will be free from error. We have like Grammarly, PaperPal, and what have you. And moreover, you can even give it to a friend, a trusted friend, to help you proofread it. So if they proofread it, you will be able to know your stance, like, okay, this is good enough, it can fly, and you can submit. Moreover, in addendum to what I've said, you make sure you flow with, you're able to submit early enough before deadline. Make sure you're able to submit it early enough before deadline. So then the future, how to write a concept note, which is also known as research proposal. So I've been able to list some essential things that you need to get in line with, like how to fall within the limited success percentile while writing a concept note. Concept note is like a bridge that is bridging you, what you want to do, and how you want to do it, and what you want to achieve while you're able to do it. Now, the essentiality in the research title, okay, before I start listing what I have on board, we all know the structure of writing a concept note. You have your title, you have the abstract. Then after the abstract, then you can move to chapter 1 where we have the introduction. In the introduction, you have the background of study and what have you. Then you move to chapter 2, which is your literature review. Now, the literature review is what is going to bring about the gap. Those literature you will be able to know the latest development on that field. So you know what happened and where the gaps are and where you are coming to fill the gap, the perspective in which you're going to come on board to fill the gap. So the literature review, it must be well grounded. The third one is your research methodology. Now, research methodology is the intellectual bridge between a problem and a solution. The intellectual bridge between a problem and a solution. And this must be concise enough and replicable. Anyone that says this must be able to replicate what you've written there and get the same result. So that is your research methodology. And each of this section has their own number of pages that is stipulated for them. A research proposal should not be more than 10 to 15 pages. If it's too much, it might not fly. So it has to be concise enough within the 10 to 15 pages. So on my list, I have Scholarship. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Please, when I have a limited time, like 5 more minutes, you can just try and give my indulgence to it, so I can just quickly wrap up.
Okay, I dropped a message on the chat.
Oof. Okay.
You
Thank
have
you so
2
much.
minutes more. 2 minutes more.
2 more minutes. Who?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Let
we
me
can have
quickly
one
round
more
up.
2 minutes. 3 minutes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much. Now, how to fall within the limited success percentile. Now, essentiality in the research title and abstract. Now, you need to sell yourself. And the way you sell yourself is in your title. The first thing the Human Selection Committee will see is your title. So when you sell yourself with the title, then they will be able to move down to the abstract and what have you. Now, be conversant with the funding body mandate. I've laid emphasis on that earlier. You need to be conversant with the funding body mandate. Now, show your potential benefits. Show potential benefit to oil and gas industry and humanity. I've laid emphasis on that. I don't want to bore us with that again. Then magnify and support the extremity of the study with relevant statistics from authoritative sources, like the literature review that I've said. You must be able to fill a gap. Then be passionate and show thorough grounding in the state of art of the study area. You must be well grounded. I remember when I went for my interview, the first thing they asked me when I entered was just open my research proposal, and the man went straight to my block diagram. And it just asked me, if I remove the voltage divider in this block diagram, what will happen? Wow. And that was the 8 point for me because I've studied well. So you must be well grounded in the state of art for the study towards the interview or whatever you're going for or applying. Then the concept notes, show evidence of previous work. You need to show an evidence of the previous work you've done, and this will give them the temerity to bring you forth for the scholarship. Then make sure solution-driven data achievable and not abstract. The solution data must be achievable. Don't just go and bring a generic thing on board. They know that this thing is not achievable. It must be achievable. Then correlate your objective with the proposed solution-driven data. It has to correlate. The objective, why you're doing this, and your proposed solution data must correlate. If you've gotten a professor, show why you choose to work with such professor. Before I went for the interview, I got a professor already. So it shows that you're ready. It shows that you know what it takes to be a scholar. So it's a hitting point for you also. Then conclude by writing, you'll be back and what have you. It all depends. That's the personal choice. Then escaping application tracking system. This is where I just want to quickly lay emphasis on so that I can just wind up with my presentation. Now, application tracking system. Have you ever imagined if you have almost 10,000 applicants, and do you believe that we can have human selection committee to read all the 10,000 applications? So this is where the ATS come on board. Most times they use ATS or software to filter, to streamline and manage a large volume of application. Then when it's been reduced, then the human selection committee can come on board and start reading it within each proposal or SOP before calling for it. Then you have gotten to the interview stage. Then how to scale through the ATS, keyword optimization. Endeavor to tailor your proposal using the keywords that align with PTDF mandate, oil and gas, energy transition, environment, and what have you. Use action-oriented usable language, e.g. applying to develop, aim to achieve, we quantify improvement, and so, which is very pertinent. Then use standard heading, introduction, problem statement, objectives, methodology, expected result, and what have you, so you can scale through. Then use plain text and avoid fancy formatting. We know what is obtainable when it comes news time Roman 12 and what have you, the fonts and what have you. Then complement with targeted CV. Now, don't write what is in your research proposal. Your achievement in your research proposal must tailor with what is in your CV. It shows that you are consistent. It shows you know what you're doing. Then after everything, you can simulate with free software of ATS to check your percentage and know if you're going to fall within the success percentile. Then conclusively, you need to pray. When you have done the needful, you need to pray, because it's not of you that will it nor want it, but the Lord that showeth mercy. I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Scholar Olasende. We are so happy about the clear and concise information on how to prepare our application document. And I'm sure our viewers are also happy to have listened to you today. So again, before we move to the next session, I want to remind our viewers, for the sake of those that just joined us in the course of the first presentation. Again, we are having 3 more presentations to go, and if you have any question, please kindly write them down so that at the end of the next 3 presentations, we can have all your questions on the chat. Okay. So thank you once again, Scholar Kende. We are so honored and excited to have you. We are so happy, and we believe that what you have done here today is going to increase the number of applicants for this scholarship, and hopefully a number of them will also join from HISF and from Nigeria and from everywhere, from different part of the world. People are joining from today. All right, very quickly we are moving to the next speaker. And the next speaker is Scholar Amol. Scholar Amol is a 2023-2024 PTDF scholar for the UK stream. Scholar Amol is a PTDF-funded sustainability engineer and founder of E-Energy Fix, a digital platform aimed at improving transparency and responsiveness in the energy sector by enabling real-time issue reporting across the energy supply chain. He recently completed his master's program in global sustainability engineering at Heriot-Watt University, where his research explored the integration of electrochemical CO2 reduction with wastewater treatment using PED-based catalyst. Scholar Amol also leads NUCES, a circular economy concept built on behavioral nudges for sustainable living, and curates scholarships and lifestyle with ASH, a platform that guides students on global opportunities and academic transitions. He holds a first-class degree in agricultural and environmental engineering from the University of Agriculture, Makurdi, and brings experience from both academia and agribusiness, currently supporting strategy and innovation at Fatherland Agric Co. Limited. You can see that we are so excited to have this experienced scholar in our midst today. And again, he will be talking to us about the requirement for successful application. Thank you so much for joining us, Scholar Amol. We are so excited to have you on board.
Yeah, thank you very much, Scholar Samuel, and good day to everyone that is currently watching. I can see we have 29 persons watching on YouTube, and to all of us here, thank you, and for the organizing body, thank you so much as well. My presentation is going to be on the requirements for successful application. You would see there's a rectangular, there's a triangular, sorry, there's a triangular setup there with the blue in it. And that is when you're talking about health and safety, anytime you see a blue sign, it means it's a must do. It's something you must do. And so these are requirements that you must have to have a good application process. And to start up with is the eligibility conditions, which are general. It applies to both masters and PhD. So you can only apply for PTDF approved courses. And you can find this on the website on the ptdf.org/news, where you have all information regarding the approved courses. And the courses must relate to the oil and gas industry and your previous academic studies. Because the PTDF's mandate, as explained by Scholar Femi, is one that is built on developing manpower for the oil and gas sector in Nigeria. So whatever it is you want to study or apply for your master's and PhD, it must be relevant to the oil and gas industry, and you must find a way of relating it to your previous studies and the one you want to do. So if you have studied languages, let's say you have studied French and you're asking yourself what is relationship between French and the oil and gas sector, that is for you to answer. How imperative or important is the application of languages to oil and gas sector? If you've studied medicine, accounting, whatever be it, you must find a way to link it up. If there is no, take for instance, I studied agricultural and environmental engineering, and you ask what's the connection between agricultural and environmental engineering and the oil and gas sector? Well, there are so many areas of specialization in agricultural and environmental engineering, one which is farm power and machinery, and then you can delve out to renewable energy. And from renewable energy, you can delve out to sustainability engineering, which is what I did. So you must find a way to collaborate where you are coming from and where you want to go with respect to the oil and gas industry. You also have to remember that multiple applications lead to automatic disqualification. You can only make one application in a particular application stream. Now, previous PTDF beneficiaries cannot apply for a lower level or same level. It means if you have applied, if you have gotten a master's degree, you cannot apply to be awarded a scholarship for another master's. Neither can you go back to being given one for an undergraduate study. If you have gotten a PhD, you cannot apply for another PhD, you cannot apply for another master's if your PhD has previously been sponsored by PTDF. But let's say if you have gotten a PhD, maybe your own self-sponsored PhD, you can disregard the fact that you have a PhD and use your previous master's degree to apply for a PhD. But once you have had a particular funding at a particular level with the PTDF, you cannot apply for a lower level or that same level again. Applicants on other scholarships are not eligible. This is most especially federal government scholarships. You cannot be enjoying the Tertiary Education Trust Fund scholarship and you apply for PTDF. It's not going to work. You cannot be enjoying the Federal Scholarship Board scholarship and then you apply for the PTDF. It's not going to work. Once it's from the federal government, you can only be on one. The same thing applies for some international scholarships as well, like the Commonwealth, Chevening scholarships. You cannot be on those and still get the PhD, the PTDF scholarship simultaneously. No. Lecturers must provide VC's letter confirming no other scholarship. This does not just apply to lecturers in the universities alone, because the universities, the VCs apply to the universities, rectors apply to polytechnics, provosts apply to colleges of education. So if you come from any of these arms of the tertiary institution, you must provide a letter from your head confirming you are not on any other scholarship. That's general eligibility criteria. Other general application requirements include that you must verify your national identification number. This comes at a fee of 500 naira. If I'm sure it has not changed. You must have completed your National Youth Service Corps. That's your NYC. You must. It's a must. If you don't have it, is like Scholar Femi will say, if this one goes through 8 years, you don't have your NYC, it just helps them to filter you out just immediately. You you should you should be computer literate to enable yourself go through the application process. And for those who will be going for PhD, especially in the UK, you have to write your IELTS for most persons, and if you are not computer literate, I'm sorry, you can hardly do well in that exam, because it's not just your knowledge of the language, is how fast you are with the computer that gives you the kind of results you need at the end of the day. Your five O-level credits, including English and mathematics, are very important. So for those who always shout school na scam, this starts counting right from your secondary school. So if you do not have a very strong O-level results, then you just know that you are already placing yourself at a disadvantageous position in the course of your application. Now, MSc specific requirements, you need to have a minimum of a second class upper or first class degree. This helps you to stand in a better light. If you're having a 2-2, and for a 2-2, you should have relevant industry experience. It means that if you are fresh out of NYSC or fresh out of the university and you are with a 2-2, your chances of getting the scholarship are very limited, because it is clearly stated you need to have relevant industry experience. So if you have a 2-2, for the first 2 to 3, for the first 2 years, don't make your application, because you will simply just be helping the National Identity Management Commission with your name verification amount. Go and get the industry experience for at least 2 years with your 2-2, then you can make an application. Those with second class, upper, and first class stand a better chance. I won't talk much about statement of purpose, because Scholar Femi has already talked very much about that. But very importantly, to highlight that the reason for your proposed study has to be clearly stated, and it has to be relevant to the oil and gas sector, and you must be able to tell them how it is going to impact on national development positively. PhD specific requirements also state that you should have a minimum of a second class lower 2-2 in your first degree, and you should have a good postgraduate degree. Now, a good postgraduate degree here means you should be looking at least at having a merit during your master's. You should have at least a merit. A distinction puts you in a better light. Merit, still good, coupled with having a very strong undergraduate result, puts you very much in a good light. Now, your research proposal, that has also been talked about by Scholar Femi, so I will not dwell much on that. Maximum of 5 pages, like he made mention of during elaborating on it, and as at when he was talking about the 8 years, the keywords, you must have a clear and concise topic. Your introduction has to be on point and has to lay the perfect background for whatever it is you are doing. Your objectives have to be tailored towards answering the research questions that you will be developing. Your methodology has to be reproducible, replicable, and scientifically up to date, such that the desired results that are stated by your objectives can actually be obtained by carrying out the methodology. You clearly have to state what method you'll be using for your data collection, either by field work, by experimentation, and which has to lead you to state very clearly what your expected outcome from the research will be. You shouldn't miss out on any of these. If you have relevant publications, they should also be cited. But over the years, there has not been so much emphasis on relevant publications because you I think the body was trying to create a balance between those who work in the industry and those who work in academia, because those who are lecturers from institutions or research organizations would always have a lot of publications because of the kind of work they do, while have those who are coming from the industry because of the industry setup where some level of information or research you carry out is classified, you're not able to publish, or because of the practical nature of their work, do not get to make publications. So in order to have a level playing ground and equal competition, not so much emphasis is being paid on relevant publications, but it's important to help you in your in your application if you have relevant publications. Membership of professional bodies is very, very important. Very, very important. It is key. I know quite a number of persons who are currently watching. Not all will be applicants. Some may still be undergraduates. Some may still be doing their service year. And some maybe don't have the intention of applying this year. And some were simply caught unawares about having membership of professional bodies. It stands out because it's one of those documents when you go for your screening, they look at. They definitely want to look at it. So whatever you're doing, there are some overarching professional bodies that anybody from any field at all can be a member of. And such includes the management bodies you have, like the Nigerian Institution of Management Chartered is overarching. Anybody can become a member. So you take an advantage. You studied languages, accounting, engineering, become a member. For those who are engineers, of which I know and I can speak their behalf, if you are more than 4 years out of the university, you can apply and be a corporate member of the Council for Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, as well as the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and then you join the various divisions of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. To agricultural engineers, that applies to the Nigerian Institution of Agricultural Engineers. You have NIMEC-E, you have that of the civil engineers, you have that of the health and safety, automobile, and so many of those. You have free ones to join, such as the SPE, the International Association of Engineers. Ensure you're a member of those. ICANN for accountants, ACA, and all of those. You could join even human resource management professional bodies. Just ensure you belong to relevant professional bodies. It's very important. For mandatory documents that are very important for you to have for all applicants is your first degree certificate or statement of results. Ensure you have that with you. Ensure that you have your NYC discharge certificate, your O-level results, as well as your research checkup pin, which you should take with you when you eventually get the opportunity to be screened. You should always use your recent passport photographs. This is because as humans, we grow, we change. You don't want to be using a passport photograph you took a very long time ago. Maybe you were without beards and now you have beards, and so much distinction between the current you and the former you. It's not so much of a good thing. Your local government identification letter, valid means slip, master's certificate or PhD, proof of professional membership of bodies. Very important. Ensure you have these and scan all of them into soft copies so you have them both in PDF and as pictures so you can always upload them anytime they are needed. Always ensure that for every level you are or every result you have gotten, you have the transcript for that very level prepared and ready to give credence to whatever result or certificate you are presenting. Very important. Ensure you have clear scanned uploads of all documents, which I mentioned while addressing the last slides. Apply online at the website. And remember, do not give into so much as to allowing people to apply for you. Please own this entire application process, go through the process and get it right. There are so many groups, and that's the reason why platforms like these and presentations like this are made so that you acquaint yourself with the entire application process and you know how to do it and get it right. Remember that for this year, the application deadline is for now Wednesday, May 28, 2025. So ensure you make your applications as soon as possible. Thank you all for listening and good luck to all the applicants.
All right. Thank you so much, Scholar Amol. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. So clear and succinct. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I think one of the things that our people should also that we should also emphasize is that even if you have two, right, you can still apply for the scholarship. Yeah, you can still apply for the scholarship according to his presentation. And yes, we are going to be taking the last but one presentation. We are going to be taking the third presentation. And again, just to remind people that are online, you can keep writing your questions, right? You can write as many questions as possible. These scholars are able and capable, right, to answer them all. So let's write our questions down so that at the end of the next two presentations, we are going to be taking our questions and answer. So thank you again, Scholar Amol. We are so excited and honored to have you. Thank you so much. So, yeah. All right. The next scholar in our midst is Scholar Daniel. Scholar Daniel, you are welcome. Scholar Daniel is a PTDF scholar also, and he is from the Malaysia stream of PTDF scholarship. So he's going to be talking to us about factors to consider when picking a university. And before I would allow him to start, I would like to introduce him to our listeners. All right. Scholar Daniel is a PhD researcher in information technology at University Technology Petronas, Malaysia, where he explores trustless identity systems in the metaverse. He holds a master's degree in information and telecommunication engineering from the University of Port Harcourt and a BSc in electrical engineering from Rivers State University. With over 6 years of teaching experience, Daniel is also a Cambridge AS and A-level examiner and volunteers as a teaching assistant at UTP. His passion lies in advancing SDG 4 quality education through immersive learning technologies and generative AI. Scholar Daniel has presented at the Teaching and Learning Innovation Festival, KEDEX, and holds multiple certifications in AI, blockchain, and AR/VR. He aims to build inclusive, future-ready classroom that empowers learners through smart education tools. Again, you are welcome, Scholar Daniel, and everyone is, anxious and excited to listen to what you have for us today. Thank you, Scholar Daniel.
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our viewers, depending on where you are joining us from. I also want to say thank you to our scholars that had presented before. You guys did an amazing job. Thank you again. So quickly, I'm going to be, walking us through factors you need to consider when choosing a university. Well, it's safe to say a country, right? Because first, you will need to pick a school that is heavily invested in oil and gas, or anything that truly aligns with PTDF's core vision for this program. So I'm just going to be walking us through using data. We noticed. Sorry, I don't know. Maybe Just give me a second. Okay, if we noticed, there has been a slight, I won't say change, but I'll say delay as regards when the PTDF decided to, sorry, I'm trying to set up, okay, good. As regards when, the PTDF announcement for this year started. So there's been a bit of, I won't say, I won't use the word delay, I'll say change. So I'm just going to be talking to us through data. A couple of weeks back or a month ago, the head of OSS, she complained that PTDF is beginning to lose scholars they send abroad for obvious reasons. When they are done, there's not enough room, to house them in our country. But I'm going to be speaking to us around the bond we signed, because now it doesn't matter how we look at it. We're already bonded, and our signature is on it, and our what's the word now? The people who stood as guarantors for us, their signatures are also on it. So I'm going to be looking at the worst case scenario and of course best case scenario. So let's look at this chart. Now this chart is a chart that shows the number of scholars that had been awarded this scholarship from 2021 to 2024. That's last year. And if you notice the trend, you might not get so much from this bar chart, but if I take you to a trend line, you realize that from 2021, there was a slight increase for MSc. It was maintained. But then in 2024, there's also a slight decrease. The same way with PhD. We had about, during my time, that's 2 years ago, there was about 160 of us. But if you look at the list, and this data is available on PCDF's website, you will notice that there is a sharp decline. So this is to whisper or suggest to intending scholars who are coming. I mean, it's said that if you know better, you will do better, right? So with quality information, you'll be able to prepare yourself, well. My fellow PTD and PhD scholars will agree with me that during their time, the competition was not this stiff. Was this stiff? Of course, it was really stiff. Because PTDF system is purely meritorious. However, the number has declined. It was just 74 from last year. So I'm just going to, turn our direction to certain things we need to consider when selecting a university. So I'm just going to show us this. This is for MSc 2021. I've shown us the general data already. So this is a distribution per country. If we notice, UK has always been the country. I wouldn't say the school. I would say the country. UK has always been the country. This was for 2021 in MSc. This is for PhD 2021, UK. If you notice 2022 MSc, it's UK. If you notice 2022 PhD, it's UK, right? So it's always been UK. However, for this year, we've seen the advert, and we do not know, we do not have all the details as regards how long a scholar who is choosing to go to UK is supposed to spend in PTDF Center in Kaduna. Now that would suggest two things. You can either still choose the UK, follow the trend. I mean, the trend is your friend. You can either choose to select an institution in the UK, or this is the best time to begin to consider other options. So there are two major options around the school or let's say just the university of your choosing. The first is the purely UK part, and the second part is the FGM, the France, Germany, Malaysia. Now, why I like the FGM is because it gives me option. If I get the scholarship, for example, under Malaysia, I'm at liberty to switch between France and Germany. However, if I have that same, I can't switch over to UK. So you're either taking the UK, like some of our scholars, or you're picking the FGM option. And the reason why I'm talking more about country rather than school is for obvious reasons. I think for every scholar who wants to get the best, it's first to look at the university ranking of the school you're choosing. Does that count in industry? Maybe not. Does that count in academia? Of course it does. If you want to go into lecturing after um, um, your program, universities actually look at, okay, where is he coming from? Is it better than where he's coming to in the school you're applying, either as a postdoc or however you want to take that career to? So it's usually best to look at the university ranking. So away from the university now, let's look at the country. We know that UK is, of course, it's a place to be according to the statistics. However, none of us or none of the intending scholar, even the scholars right now, I don't think any of us have that information as regards what's the tendency or how long I'm going to spend in PTDF Center in Nigeria before we transition into, the UK part. So this is one thing every scholar that is coming in should also consider. Also, you also need to look at personal circumstance. If you're coming into a country, you need to look at the condition of living. See, what I always tell scholars each time I meet them is, whatever school you're choosing, make sure your capex, being your stipend, is greater than your opex. Opex is your rent, your upkeep. Because at the end of the day, if we are supposed to honor our bond, word for word, it's going to expect us to return, right? You're returning back to Nigeria. What are you returning with? So if you're picking a country that, yes, you might think, okay, there's a likelihood for me to get something after my program. You do not know the next person that is going to come into authority, who's going to seat. Policies change. So it's best, as you're selecting a school per ranking, if you have the plans of going into the industry, into academia, sorry, it's best to pick a school whose ranking is high, or whose ranking is, say, among the top 100 or top 200, or even top 500. 500 is not such a bad number. So it's ideal to pick schools whose ranking is safe enough in case you want to transition. And something else you also need to put in mind is, if you are married, especially for PhD or MSc, I don't think it matters. For PhD or MSc, you have just 18 months max, or 2 years. That's 24 months. Are you going to come in with your family? If you're a PhD scholar, it's also something you need to put at the back of your mind. So you need to look at the living condition of the country you are coming into. It's okay. It's okay to have faith, right? It's okay to have faith. And one tricky thing about, I'm just going to speak for Malaysia because it's a place, that's where I'm doing my PhD. I'm in UTP. UTP is technically a village, meaning that my, running cost or my operating cost is way lesser than my stipend, right? So I get to, save for the rainy day in cold. And that is something you need to have at the back of your mind, because not every one of us, let's say 5% of us, 5% of us who actually come in to the system, get into a good school, round up their program, get a next level. A next level is either for a PhD student, a postdoc, if it's an MSc student, a PhD. It's not a guarantee, right? I understand there are more opportunities in certain countries. Now in Malaysia, most of the opportunities you get in Malaysia are teaching opportunities, except you are coming with a mid-level experience, let's say from 5 to 10 years experience, industry relevant experience, right? That's when you are guaranteed, okay, if I pick Malaysia, there's a likelihood that after my program, I could get something. However, there's also an opportunity for a postdoc, but you need to be extremely studious, because Malaysia is a country that requires you to, publish maybe one or two Q1 or Q2, or even Q3 or Q4, right? It might sound a bit laborious initially, but for our scholars who, have published, you know that the rigor is there. But after the first, the second, it becomes a hobby, it becomes interesting. And we all know that publications is a big deal, whether industry or in academia. And it's even better if your publication it has some level of industry experience. So if you're picking Malaysia as a country, or as a state, as a university or country of choice, it's something you should have at the back of your mind. Let's see, what else am I missing? Okay, I think I've touched those parts. I just want to quickly show us something, since we're still discussing figures and trends. So I had the liberty of looking at the countries, PTDF. I looked at the I won't necessarily call it inflation rate. I'll just call it naira to the country comparison. How the country's currency has performed against the naira from January of 2021 down to May of 2025. Now it only goes up, right? It only goes up. But that what should suggest to you is that these figures might look, enticing. But what if your running costs? What if the place you are living? What if the university of your choice, the condition of living there, the cost of living there is higher, almost the same as what you're getting from PTDF as a stipend, and that's really going to put you at the edge, especially when you are close to your to the end of your program and there is nothing. You're yet to get something concrete. Coming back to Nigeria is not shouldn't terrify anyone. However, it's one of those things we think about as scholars. So if you're picking a school with the intention of going into academia, please pick a school with high university ranking. You can check THE ranking for the university you're picking to make sure that, okay, I don't have I'm not going into industry. If I'm going into academia, let it be a school that has some level of credence on that chart. But if I'm going into the industry, let it also be something that can stand the test of time. So I'm just saying, because when I listen to Mr. Agbola and the I wouldn't say the pain, but the seriousness in her voice. So I told myself, okay, let's say that we're supposed to honor our bond to the latter. And I decided to go over to Nigeria. What am I going back with? And that's actually the first thing I had at the back of my mind when I chose PTDF. And I'm just going to share this personal experience. I got PTDF on my second try. The first time I applied to PTDF was 2022. And I chose UK because I asked, UK is the place you can work and all of that. And it's just fine. So I chose it. But then I didn't understand the rigor or my competitors. I didn't have the data around my competitors I was competing to get into UK with. So according to the results, I wasn't selected. I'm suspecting that affected my selection. But when I came in the second time, I had asked around, okay, let's assume what's my best fit so I can put it forward. And they said, just go to Malaysia. It's going to be easy. And even during my interview, one of the senior lecturers, she's a prof, she said, hope you know Malaysia, you are going to come back. They don't really give jobs. And I told her, okay, yeah, I was told that. And she said, no problem. And of course, the rest is history. And secondly, a friend of mine, he has applied for PTDF. His 10th try got him in. He's applied for masters 5 times. Has applied for PhD 5 times. So the moral of his own story is that, don't give up and, of course, choose wisely. And I'm just going to end by saying, whatever country you're picking, plus faith and plus everything you believe, make sure the country's operating cost, right, is lesser at the end of the day than what the stipend is going to be from PTDF. So thank you so much. Okay, can you all hear me?
Yes. You are done with your presentation?
Yes, I am.
All right. Thank you so much. That was so concise. Thank you so much. Thank you. We are happy for the evidence-based or data-based presentation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And also thank you for your personal counsel at the end of that presentation, which kind of speak to someone like me, who had applied for the PTDF before and got rejected, right? Maybe there is someone here who has also applied more than once and is scared of applying. So the bottom line is you don't have to be scared, as he gave an example of someone that has applied for almost 5 times and got rejected and now has been accepted. So thank you so much, Scholar Daniel, for that wonderful presentation. And to our listeners, we are having one final presentation. Thank you all for staying tuned with us since we begin today's program. However, before I introduce the last presenter, if you have any question, you can start dropping them in so that by the end of the last presentation, we start taking in your question and answer. We don't want to keep you waiting. So Today again, we are having our last presenter, and our last presenter today is going to be Scholar Esther. And Scholar Esther is also a 2023-2024 PTDF scholar, France stream. So she's joining us from France. So you've listened to the first scholar from Germany, the second scholar from UK, the third scholar from Malaysia, and Scholar Esther is from France. Scholar Esther is currently pursuing a master's program in petroleum engineering and project development at IFP School, France, as a recipient of the prestigious PTDF Scholarship. She holds a first-class honors degree in chemical engineering from Madonna University, Nigeria. Passionate about engineering excellence, project management, and transformational leadership, Scholar Esther is equally driven by a commitment to living out the God life. She actively mentors and inspires students, especially those aspiring to study abroad, by shaping practical insights on academic excellence, scholarship applications, and purposeful living. We are excited to have you, Scholar Esther. We're excited to have you share your experience or share what you have for us today. And I'm sure the viewers are also excited and anxious, positively anxious to hear what you have for us today. You're welcome, Scholar Esther.
Okay, thank you very much, Scholar Samuel. Good evening, morning, afternoon. Greetings to everyone, depending on where you're listening from. My name is Modo Esther, and I must first appreciate the Scholarship Forum for this opportunity. And thank you so much to my fellow scholars who spoke before now. You made it very easy, so I can just come and have a good work. Okay, so every other thing my colleagues have said have basically been about the scholarship. But I'm going to be talking to us on a slightly different topic. And this topic does not affect the scholarship directly, but it affects the people. That is us who are applying for the scholarship. And the topic is defeating limiting mindsets. Yes, no, I'm not a motivational speaker, but just listen and I hope it helps. Yeah. So before I begin, I would like to say a quote from Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or you cannot, you are right. Yes, what you think is what it is. It doesn't go beyond what you think. Now, what is a mindset? It's like a set of beliefs, attitudes, and assumptions that shape how we see ourselves. So, in this context, paying attention to the PTDF scholarship, it's what you think about your chances, yes, about your abilities, about your confidence in being chosen or not chosen. So two people could have the same academic background, but one person believes, sure, this is for me, and the other person says, nah, I'm not sure. The difference between the two people is their mindset. Another person will say, oh, like Scholar Ash already said, that there are free professional certifications, and someone will say, nothing is assured. Why will I need to get the certificates I have to pay for? Nothing is assured. Another person says, why do I have to settle for just the free ones? I want to push through to get even the ones I will pay for, put my best foot forward. Now, mindset, that's the difference between these two persons. So before I continue into the topic, I'll share just a little about my personal story. Like I said, what we're discussing now is about the person involved, not the scholarship directly. So it boils down to me sharing my own particular story. So not to sound too religious, but like I was introduced, I like to talk about the God life. So my own story cannot be complete if I don't mention the role God played. So I started applications for international scholarships in the year 2021 during my national youth service. And then yes, I didn't get in yet. While I did these applications, of course, I prayed. I kept praying. I'll apply and I'll say, God, okay, this is up to you to tell me, yet your will be done. And then I don't get it. And as someone who seeks to hear what God has to say about me, God never said anything about my applications, but I applied for the next one, bilateral educational scholarship, the one at Hungary. I kept making so many applications, and then God never said anything about it. Fast forward to And during this time, yes, at least I wouldn't say it was a waste. Why? Because I was learning to write SOPs, learning about educational systems of different countries. I did my international passport in preparation because, yes, I was hoping that, okay, one of these things will work out. But then, fast forward to when I did the PTDF scholarship, there's something about life. There's something bigger than us that actually crafts our path in life, right? In addition to your mindset. So one of these days, while I waited, or while I had applied, or while I was going to apply to the PTDF scholarship, I had this dream, and then it was like a vision. And in that vision, long story cut short, I had to fight. And at the end of the battle, in quotes, something was so clear to me. International open doors have been opened, are available to you. That's what I took away from that. And you see what? Do you know what that vision did to me? Oh no, it changed my mindset. At this time, I didn't know which application was going to work, but I had one thing in mind. I now have access. So I said this to say that your mindset surrounds like a lot of things or affects a lot of things around you. Yes, these are okay. I will first of all give examples done with my story for now and back to the mindset thing. I also had this example of mindset. Oh yes, I had a rich uncle. I had a rich uncle who promised to take me abroad. That is a mindset. You having, oh no, with my uncle, I can get it, Yes, I felt a bit disadvantaged. I didn't know anybody at the top. It's a mindset. Oh no, the process is too competitive. It's a mindset. I have a first class, I don't have a first class. It's a mindset. No one in my family has ever left the country. We never get it. It's a mindset. I'm not good enough. My school, my public university. It's a mindset. And do you know the thing about this? The more it stays, the more it forms what you become. So the lesson from my story is to tell you that you have to find the assurance that will determine your mindset through whatever you believe, however you want to. For me, I got mine from God. And immediately you see all those mindsets of depending on my uncle, not knowing anyone at the top, not coming from a rich background, like it died. It died at the spot. You see? So immediately I changed. Now, what are limiting mindsets? If I'll give it a definition, they are false beliefs, or assumptions you hold about yourself. Yes, I call them false because they don't exist. Because if you don't put them there, they would not be there. So if you put them there, definitely they stay there. So that's why I said they are false beliefs. Now, these beliefs, they are not based on facts. There is nowhere it is written in, maybe I have a manual of my life and it is written, my rich uncle must take me abroad. I put it there. It was my own mindset. I brought it into existence. So you see, they are just internal barriers we create for ourselves. Nobody creates those mindsets for us. So if you leave those things unchecked, it will definitely stop your pursuits, especially in a situation like this, attempting to achieve an international sponsorship. Now, how do we defeat these mindsets? Before you even accept or intend to defeat these mindsets, an important thing that you must note is, what is the source of my own mindset? Why do I have this mindset? Do they exist? If yes, okay, I acknowledge them. Now, I'm trying to help us create a self-awareness. Where are these mindsets from? What is fueling my own limiting mindsets? I may or may not be able to relate to your situation, but these are examples I have here, because these mindsets are unique to each individual. One of them is past failures or rejections. And this was why I actually also began with sharing my story. I started applications in 2021 for scholarships. Imagine I had given up, or I always lose, or I never get chosen. Don't allow that to form your mindset. Social conditioning, I don't have a rich uncle, I'm from a poor class, I'm from this, I'm from that mindset. Lack of exposure, would they choose me? What do I even know about being abroad? What do I even know about mindsets? Hot or hurtful words from people you look up to. You will never make it in life. All those things that people say, and then you let it get to you to the point of anytime you attempt a new feat, you attempt to apply for a scholarship, you attempt to get this thing, and you remember those things and you're like, yeah, that person is right. Mindset. So while I go for that, try to think about what you think. If you find yourself in a situation where you think, oh, this mindset actually exists in my life, start trying to find the source. If you don't, you can't defeat it. So one important point I'll also buttress that is a mindset surrounding this PTDF scholarship is, oh, you must know someone in Abuja. Oh, you must be a first class graduate. Oh, Nigerian government, they never do it right. They will have to go through the corners. They will have to. No, those are your mindsets. You are the one that think about it. Like I said, for me, even if it exists or it's stated in block letters that Nigerian government never does it right, like I already mentioned earlier, I already found my own. I got my own assurance from someone that controls even the Nigerian government. So I don't care. He will make them do it right for me as long as he has said it. So all of those mindsets are one thing you must first kill before you even attempt your application. Now, how do we defeat these negative mindsets? I'm not a motivational speaker, but one thing I know for sure is, you see, words work. My words work. The word of God work. The words from that thing which you strongly believe in, they work. So what you must learn to do, replace your what ifs. Oh, what if I get to stutter during the interview? What if they notice that, oh, I use the ChatGPT for my SOP? Or what if they don't even call me for the interview? Or what if my choice of country is very competitive, Oh no, like my previous speaker just said, or maybe what if this? No, replace your what ifs with I can. There are other ways to replace these things. It will help you defeat it. I can be chosen. I can be confident in the interview. I can do this. I can do that. And then for those who are yet to submit their applications, some of these things is, oh, what if they don't want to choose me? What if this? What if that? There are so many what if. Replace your what ifs. That's one thing. That's the first thing. That's one way you can overcome these mindsets. Then secondly, action over perfection. Take small steps. Nobody. I'm not here to discourage you. I'm here to tell you the truth. Nobody says your first application should be your best or final application. But you see those tiny steps, ensure you are taking them. If you get the small money and you need to pay for that professional certificate. It's an edge. If you need to have 2 months to learn how to write an SOP, write it. If you have to edit your SOP 10 times, edit it. It's an intentional step. There's no perfection anywhere. Your little actions is what makes it perfect. Understand the necessities for an interview. Learn. It's not automatic. Learn. There's this confidence you need. In fact, some of us, the reason we have this mindset is just lack of confidence, lack of knowledge, lack of the diligence we are supposed to put in to get the work done. Then another third way to overcome it is establish connections. Connect to current scholars, attend webinars, read. I did all of these while I was attempting to get mine. Yes. In fact, if LinkedIn had a way to block people, I'm sure LinkedIn would have blocked me, because I literally sent friend requests to everyone I saw was a scholar. I asked questions. I compared countries. I did a lot of things. So you must put in the work. Establish those connections. Get those feedbacks. Ask those questions. Know your left from your right around this circle. Then finally, you have to surround yourself aright. Sorry, not finally. One other way, the fourth way, is to surround yourself aright. Have people cheering you on. Yes. Oh, it's your second application. You didn't get the first one. Yes, you go again. Have people who believe in you. Then have people praying for you. Most importantly for me is have God. Then reflect on the right things. Your past successes. You've had failures. You've also had successes. Why? Why is it that in your heart, the bigger priority is the many times you failed? That's a mindset you must defeat. Then finally, maximize all the tips my colleagues have said here. When you write your SOP, let your SOP blow your own mind. Like, oh my God, I don't believe I'm the one who wrote this. Is this coming from me? Most recently, I was helping a very dear one to apply to this particular scholarship. I went back to check for my SOP that I wrote in 2023, 2 years ago. The first 2 lines blew my mind. I was like, let me write this thing. That was 2 years ago, because this is 2025 and I applied in 2023. So the intentionality I put to it was still alive, even as I read it recently, when I was helping someone to write his own SOP. That is what you must see. Maximize all these tips. Be intentional. Put your best foot forward. You know what it means to get an international scholarship? You can't afford it. If you can't afford it, do the paperwork. Someone wants to pay for it for you. Play your role. Build your CV very strong. Get all the professional certificates you can. You can. See, it's difficult to say, but don't settle for only the free ones. Get as much as you can. Each professional certificate is a point. SPE, for me, I basically know much about the engineering aspects. IAENG, SPE, NSPE, NCHE. Get all. Pay if you have to pay. But mostly the ones that you register as a student member are free. But most of you may not still be students. You may need to apply for the professional membership or the affiliate membership. Kill that mindset that tells you it's a waste of money. Invest. They are going to spend billions of naira on you after now. This is your little change. Stop saving it. It's your mindset. It's a mindset that is limiting you. Let it be that even if you come out not getting it this time, you look back and you are not disappointed in yourself, because that is what will even discourage you from applying from the next one. Then another thing, prepare for your interview. See, read about your chosen course. I don't know how much time I have here, so I can't go into all the details, but read about your chosen course, read about your chosen country, know how to introduce yourself well. Be strategic in how you answer your questions. Don't speak too much. The more you talk, the more questions you bring up for yourself. Dress the role. An international scholar. Don't go to your interview looking shabby. Dress the role. Then impress them with your confidence. You may not even know the answer, but your smile, the aura you bring, the confidence in you, they will just be impressed. That's one thing. The thing about this is that there are different states where these interviews hold, different board members. Even, for example, I did mine in Port Harcourt and there were still 2 panels. When you go, one person goes here, one person goes here. So I just had to go where it got to my turn. So maybe in my own panel, what impresses the person in charge is just a smile. But probably in the other panel, what impresses the other person is your intellectual. So be prepared all round. Don't go and read, and then you come reading shabby without a smile. You don't know what will get you this scholarship. So preparation is involved. Then finally, one thing you must also do is pray. Like I said, I will not keep God out of it because my own story is all about God. Pray. So before I conclude, I know my time is running out. I would like to say this. Yes, some of you may have already submitted your applications before this meeting, and you feel like maybe after you've listened to the 4 of us speak, you feel like, oh, there are things I could have done better. I want to say 2 things to such people who are in that category. First of all, it's not too late to change your mindset. It may be too late to submit the application now, but you can change your mindset. Secondly, if you receive a rejection, go harder the next time. I had rejections. Even like there are some rejections that came after I had even received my scholarship. I was like, I didn't even remember that I had even applied to those scholarships. So you have to ensure that your mindset is bubbling. If you receive a rejection, let it be your motivation. The only reason a rejection would demoralize you is because of a mindset. Defeat those mindsets. Then you don't need to be perfect to be chosen. You just need to be prepared and persistent. There is no perfection anywhere. Like I said, what do you even know is perfect? You don't know who is your board, who is going to, read your SOP. Like my colleagues already said, you don't even know if it's the ATS that is yours. So perfection is there's no perfection. But you see one thing you can do, you can be prepared. You can be persistent. Practice that interview in front of your mirror 100 times. Ask yourself those questions. Test your confidence. Raise your shoulder. And then ensure that you are sure before you go there that you are ready. Then, also one other way, especially for those who may not get it immediately, in advance, you can get admissions. This is something that my colleagues did not point out. I want to point out. So, for example, the person I told you I was applying for this scholarship for, the person already, before now, we didn't even know PTDF because PTDF opened a bit late this year. But before now, the person has admissions in the UK. The person has admissions in France. The person, so the admission is there waiting now for the sponsorship. So nobody says if you don't get the scholarship now. The good thing about PTDF is you can get it in 2023 and go in 2024. It has 2 years before it expires. Get the admission in advance. If you can't get it now, just ensure you are doing something towards it. It will help your mindset. It will give you, okay, at least I have admission. Let's keep going. Then in conclusion, know this, your dream is valid. Your dreams are valid. Your background It's not a barrier. Oh, I'm the first to go abroad nobody in my family. It's not a barrier, except you choose to make it a barrier. It is only a part of your foundation. You can adjust it. You can make it better. It's still the base. When you are putting it, you can decide to now put tinted glass at the top. It's up to you to decide. If I can do it, you can do it. That's what I'll say. Then finally, I'll leave you with this scripture, Philippians chapter 4, verse 13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I hope that this short charge has been able to help you know about defeating your mindsets that are not right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Scholar Esther. We are so excited to hear from you again this evening, to hear from you this evening about, charging us about, not embracing limiting mindset, right? About pushing forward, right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are happy to have you on our midst. We're happy to listen to you. I'm sure if not for time constraint, there's still more you would like to say. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. We are now in the question and answer session. And before we go into the question and answer session, again, I want to say thank you on behalf of HISF to all our 4 scholars. Thank you so much. Thank you so much on behalf of our viewers, because I can see some of them already dropping thank you comment for you guys. Thank you so much. We are really honored to have you. Thank you so much. All right, so we have quite a number of questions here, which I will be, reading them out one after the other, and I'll also be displaying them on the screen. So, any of us can, jump on the questions depending on, how, depending on our interest, right, in the question. Yeah. I'm sure that would all want to help our listeners. All right. So the first question here is on the screen. It says, I tried registering, but I'm getting a prompt that my email is already on the system. What do I do? That's the first question. Seems like maybe a technical question also. Yeah. Yeah, I think Scholar Daniel, I don't know if you might want to answer this question.
Hey, yeah, can you hear me?
Hello, Scholar Daniel.
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, the reason it's probably encountering this problem is because him or someone else, because PTDF database does not forgive. If something as little as your phone number has been used before, it's going to pop up as, we have this guy on our records. As a matter of fact, I know someone whose stipend was affected because of this, the current scholar, just because of a minor thing like this. So what you can do is if you have another email, please use that email.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Scholar Daniel. Thank you so much. All right. So the next question is also on the screen. The question is there any known professional bodies for statistics graduates? And the person will be done with his NYSC in June 5th. What can I do as I don't have my NYSC certificate? And probably this person is also interested in applying for PTDF. All right. I think Scholar Lasseinde might want to jump on this.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Let me see the question again. Okay,
yeah, it's on the screen. Sorry.
Okay. Non-professional body for statistics. You can just search online for a professional body that is related to statistics, even if you don't see anyone that is a professional body that is in statistics. You can always search around. There is what we call interdisciplinary studies, multidisciplinary studies, and transdisciplinary studies. So you can always find a professional body. You are not limited to what you're doing alone. And regardless of your service NYC certificate, I will advise you to finish and get the NYC certificate. If you know that before you are being called up for the interview, you're going to have the NYC certificate, please give it a try. Give it a shot. If you are so certain, because you'll be bringing all your certificate, the hard copy of your certificate, you'll be tendering it during the interview. So if you know that before the interview you have all your certificates, bring them, try and apply so that you can fall within the pool. Thank you.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. Still the same person, Scholar Amol might quickly want to jump on this. The question is, being a statistic graduate, I want to advance my studies in data science and artificial intelligence. And while looking through the schools, I found out it's only UK schools that offer this. So I think that was
Well,
just the was there.
I I can confidently tell you that it is not only the UK schools that offer courses related to data science and artificial intelligence. You you would know that there are certain keywords you would want to play around with that are related to data science and artificial intelligence. It's not possible you tell me that the entire Germany has nothing on data science or artificial intelligence. The entire France has nothing on that. Malaysia has nothing on that. No, don't restrict yourself to just saying data science. Eh, Look for other technical terms that are related to data science. What data science is broad. You could just want to specialize in one thing. It could be just cybersecurity or something. It could just be network connections and all of those things. So look for things related. Look for applied aspects of courses, because sometimes they will not just study one course, artificial intelligence. No, they might apply to a particular field, to a particular industry. So you just go through the various institutions across the other countries and look at what they have to do that are related in that area. So don't just streamline that, okay, it has to be data science or there is no data science. No, look around.
All right, thank you so much, Scholar Amol, for that answer. The next question, I don't know if Scholar Esther is still with us. All right. So the next question says, I studied industrial chemistry for my first degree and want to study project management for my master's degree. The rule says your course of study must be related to your first degree. So how can this person, navigate this?
Okay, I don't know where you saw the rule, but what I know is it must be related to the oil and gas, not to your first degree. I don't know where you saw the rule. There's no rule like that, you know. And also, what I have observed, even in the PTDF scholarship generally, is most people just apply to the courses in the portal for the application purposes. And then if you get the scholarship, you have the option to even change your course. So peradventure, you don't see the course you want to apply for directly now, right? You could fill in a course that is similar as long as you can defend it and speak to it for the interview. And then should you be given the scholarship, you have the opportunity to use more time to actually find the course you want. There's no rules that the course you apply for during the interview is the final one, they must sponsor you with. So there's a possibility to change your course later on. But so this rule does not exist too. As long as you have interest, maybe questions in your interview might be, oh, why did you study chemistry and now you want to switch to biology? As long as you can answer and defend it, it's fine. And as long as like it is relatable to the oil and gas industry, then there's no problem. Yeah, I
All
think
right.
that's it.
All right. Thank you so much, Scholar Esther. I think I skipped a question, so I want to quickly bring it up. The question says, even though I have good achievement within my field, I only had C's in my SSE. What are my chances? Maybe Scholar Kane, they want to quickly jump on this.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Scholar Esther said it that you should not have you should not limit yourself. There is no limitation anywhere except the one you create in your mind. So if you have C's, so far you have your first degree, apply. Don't limit yourself. I remember when I did my interview and I tendered my my degree, like my, how will I put it, my WAEC. They saw it. They were grading it. So I observed it, the way they graded it, but I won't say it yet. But they graded it and immediately I saw it, I like, it's not about what you have, but it's about when you are able to complement what you have. If you have Cs and you're able to defend your maybe research proposal, your SOP, and you're able to have more marks on that, because everything you have will be graded and accumulated, then find the average. You understand? So you need to understand what is behind it. It's not, if you have Cs in your WAEC, you can complement it with the interview, with the professional body certificate, with your achievement and what have you. So don't have a limiting mindset. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Scholar Kennedy, for that answer. The next question is also now on the screen, and the question is: kudos to the scholars for the insightful presentation. Okay, please, during the application, is it compulsory to upload the WAEC results checker card, especially if we are uploading the original certificates? Maybe Scholar Daniel might want to, look into this.
Okay, my advice would be, if there's a provision to upload, right, and it's not going to cost you anything to upload it. But if you're uploading an original certificate, that should suffice, except it's a new law that was applied or that's been applied or implemented now. However, during our time or during when we were applying for ours, an original certificate was sufficient for that. So there's a space for that, so you can go ahead. I mean, there's no harm in going above and beyond, just in case, right? But an original is sufficient for that purpose. Right?
All right, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Scholar Daniel. Thank you for that answer. The next question says, I have an unconditional offers from two PTDF approved schools, and I'm having difficulty choosing a school that is less competitive. I'm having a difficulty choosing a school that is less competitive. So I don't know if Scholar Amol gets the question.
Well, it's difficult for me to decipher what the person means
Okay.
by having difficulty between choosing the schools that is less competitive. Already, for you to have unconditional offer, it means you have checked all the boxes for the admission criteria, and they have granted you the admission. Now, if you are saying less competitive, is it in terms of how much work they require you to put in as a student, how tough they are with their marking, and all of those? Is that what you're looking for? Well, if that is what you're looking for, we cannot even tell which country you're talking about. I will have more experience in UK and the other scholars in their respective countries. So even here in the UK, it varies. Here in Edinburgh, in Scotland, you have University of Edinburgh, Heriot University, Napier University, Margaret, neighboring ones in Glasgow and the rest. And it's difficult to say. I can only speak for what is obtainable in my institution. And you cannot, even within the institution, from department to department, there are variations as to the kind of lecturers you will meet and all of that. So he needs to be more detailed as to what he or she really wants to achieve, and what factors or parameters he or she is really looking at. Then I can be more explicit to know exactly how to approach it.
All right, all right. I think he or she would be hearing what you said now, so we can drop, a rephrased version of the question, so that hopefully before the end of the session we can read the question again. All right. So the next question is, how do we attach our PIN to the WAEC result upload? Although I have my original WAEC certificate, maybe Scholar Esther want to jump on that.
Okay. Sincerely, I don't remember how the application portal looks like, but it depends on what they are requiring, because I didn't apply today. If they give you a document to upload, then you snap your card and upload. If they ask for just the PIN, then you fill it up as a number. I mean, I don't have an idea of what the portal looks like
Okay.
currently, but definitely if they're asking for it, there should be a way they have made possible for you to provide it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that answer. I don't know if anyone also wants to jump on this question, like, you know,
Okay.
maybe, yeah,
Sorry. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I think it's a follow-up question to, or a similar question to the question I answered, or attempted to answer. And I think it's something new with this new process. During my time, safe to say our time, we didn't go through this process. So I think they can upload both. Rather than or, they can do both. You can convert your WIAC result, original WIAC result into 2 pages, right? You can have basically just merge the 2 PDFs, give them every information they need. So that something as, I won't say lousy, but something as little as just an extra information won't disqualify you. So you give them extra. You're asking for both, just give them both.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that answer.
Sorry, in addendum, scholar, in addendum to the question, I remember vividly in 2022, when you're shortlisted for the interview, you have to come along with the original WIAC card. So if you're uploading it, make sure you keep it. Because if you're going for the interview, you'll be asked for it and you'll submit it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Scholar Olasende. So the next question here is from this person. Read it. As regards the professional association membership, I just completed my registration for some, although I am yet to receive any certificate. Can I still include them in my application? I think Scholar Hamol spoke about this. Maybe you might want to quickly jump on it.
Yeah, so the thing with the professional membership is they will often require evidence. You have to upload a certificate or something. So what I will request you do is write to those professional organizations that they should give you an evidence of membership. It could be as simple as a receipt, or it could be as simple as an attestation letter to attest to the fact that you have registered, but it's just taking the normal protocol for your certificates to be out. But in the meantime, this attestation letter should be used as a legal document to serve the purpose of identifying you as a member of that professional body. And then you upload it where the evidence is required. In the absence of your certificate, that should serve. And hopefully, before you are called for the interview, you have all your membership certificates available and you can take them. So get a receipt, get an attestation letter, but something that legally stands in as a means of identifying you as a member of that professional body and make your submission.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Scholar Hamol.
So in addendum
Okay.
to what Scholar Mo has said, I remember vividly during that period when they know that you're being shortlisted for an interview. Now, people will start selling different kind of professional association membership certificates. Don't fall victim for such. Please, IBC Jos. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, scholars, for that answer. I think the next two questions are kind of the same. The first person is like what to expect during the interview. The second person is what kind of questions do they ask in the interview. And I think Scholar Esther, mentioned something about interview. Maybe you might want to say more. Now that two people are asking about it, because we might not really have this opportunity again to meet our viewers, right, to discuss interview for those that we advance to that stage. Thank you.
Okay, so basically, I'll just try to say some of the questions I was asked. Then I'll say generally on the kind of questions to expect. Okay, so first of all, I have to sell myself. The first question they asked me is, "What's your background?" At that time, sincerely, I didn't know how to answer that question. And guess what? I said Enugu State. So actually, what's your background? It's sometimes it's not even about knowing what to expect, it's about knowing how to answer. So what's your background is supposed to be like, okay, chemical engineering from this school, blah blah blah. But that aside, so yeah, what questions introduce? They can ask you, can I meet you? None of my questions were direct. You know, this normal thing we hear, introduce yourself. So they just told me, can I meet you? At least I knew that. So when you hear, can I meet you? It means my name is this, I am this, I am this. That's them meeting you. Then what's your background? Means your educational, where are you coming from? Then why do you choose to study this course? Why do you choose this country? What stands out for you in that country? Then questions about, okay, so okay, for example, in my interview I chose that I wanted to go for a process engineering course, and then they say, so in process engineering and in the engineering world in general, what's the, in quotes, biggest problem that if we tackle, the engineering world will go to the next phase? And then I just need to was carbon capture. So questions about what you study, what you want to study. So know about that course, process engineering, its benefits to the oil and gas. Yes, and then know about okay, I said it already, the country that you're expecting to be sponsored to. Then yes, another question is, if you are not given this scholarship, that was what I was asked. What do you like? You have to prepare for that kind of questions. If you don't get this, if you are not chosen, what will be your next point of action? Yeah, so that you know how to answer it. I think that's basically the ones I can remember. But in general, know about the course you want to apply to. Know, yes, my final year project. Yes, they asked me my undergraduate project, what did I do? And what was it about? How did it impact the oil and gas industry? That was also a question. So know about your previous, your present, and then probably what you are hoping to get generally. Then yourself as a person.
All right, thank you so much, Scholar
So,
Esther, for that
so may I
concise.
just
Okay,
add to that,
okay,
Samuel?
yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah. So we were privileged to, as many scholars as we are. I think even Olasande is a member of one of those groups where we have so many WhatsApp groups where we, from time to time, tutor and educate people on how to go about the scholarships. And so, for persons who applied last year, as they went in for the screening, they came back to the WhatsApp group and shared their testimonies of how their experiences were. So I was able to compile that into a booklet, which is freely online for everybody to download. We have about 70 testimonies from various scholars from across the 6 geopolitical screening centers, all giving in their testimony as to what they were asked, how their experiences were. So I think, Samuel, I'll share the link to the free download to you, and then you can put it up on the group, and that answers all their questions. It has experiences similar to that of Esther, similar to that of every other person, and people were saying it freely. So you read it. I didn't even edit what people wrote. As they wrote, I simply copied and pasted it in the compilation. So you are reading their experiences and everything they went through, and it will open people's eyes as to the kind of questions they should expect. Yeah.
All right, all right. Thank you so much for that questions. So once I'm able to get the link, I can send it to the group chats. You understand? And to those that are interested in that, they can also reach out to us via any of our social media platforms. We'll get it across to them. All right. Thank you so much. The next question is this. With an interest in industrial biotechnology, that is biofuel production, I'm having challenges to find a suitable course in the list of courses given by PTDF. So this is a question by someone, having issues finding a course that is related to his interest, industrial biotechnology. So what should he do? Maybe Scholar Kende would want to jump on that.
Thank you so much. I would like to jump on that. Uh, like I've said earlier, there's what we call multidisciplinary studies, transdisciplinary studies, and interdisciplinary studies. You just have to be smart enough. You just have to be smart enough. You study industrial biotechnology. Do you know there are some microbes that can use for the oil remediation, like to help to resuscitate the nutrients of the soil of where oil had been dug out from. Like, let me just try and explain better. There are some microbes that use uh, how will I put it? There are some microbes that are used to retain the strength for a particular region which oil has been dug out from. So you just have to be smart enough. Think outside the box. Just think outside the box. Anybody can apply. Anybody. Just think. Thank you.
All
Sorry,
right.
can I just add a little to that?
Hmm.
So don't allow the limitation of your search of course on the PTDF portal delay your submission of your application. So if you, for example, don't see a course titled Industrial Biotechnology, and then you can see maybe biochemical studies or technology or industrial tech, you know, something you can just at least submit for the scholarship, as long as, like I said earlier, you can study and defend it. After you get the scholarship, you have like 2 years to find the particular course, so that you don't stay searching for courses and then the portal gets closed. At this point, you should have already decided, okay, what course you want to use to apply with, and then start studying, knowing about it. So if it's not on their list at the moment, look for one that looks close to what you've done, what you like to do, and just use it to apply. Later on, trust me, the flex is very wide. You can change your course. Some people even end up studying human resource management, and you're like, courses that they didn't even think PTDF would sponsor, just so you don't delay yourself. And then I think, oh, okay, that one will be after or maybe during the application. Like, people need to search the internet, know how to search, use keywords. There are courses everywhere, different countries. You just need to search.
All right. Thank you so much, Scholar Esther and Scholar Olaseyinde. Thank you so much for that answer. The next question, maybe Scholar Daniel might want to jump in on it. I don't have high LTS. However, I have a letter that supports my English proficiency from university. Can this work? Maybe for people that want to apply to schools that requires IELTS.
Okay, I think for my UK scholars, I think they might answer that with no, IELTS, it's IELTS. However, if you're applying to probably an institution in Malaysia, what they need, since they're not specifically saying, give us IELTS, they're saying, prove to us that you were taught in English, right? So a document from your school is fine. So some schools even accept Duolingo now as a language, as a certification for proof of language or English. So if it's a UK institution, honestly, I doubt. However, I think our UK scholars can you say one or two as regards this.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Go ahead.
So for masters in the UK, you don't need IELTS because they accept your WAEC result first of all, and then you just need to provide an evidence of proficiency in English language. If you are working in an institution, any organization at all, they just need a letter from there to be sure that you speak, work, and communicate in English language, and that serves for masters. But for PhD, they require you must. Even if you had, even if you did your masters in the UK, you eventually came back to Nigeria and you have to go back to the UK for a PhD, they'll require you to have IELTS. The only case where you get to forgo that is if you are still in the UK and you fortunately get a PhD to continue, then you may not need it or you will not need it. But for PhD, they often require if you are coming from outside, you must have IELTS, but it doesn't apply to masters.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Scholar Amol and Scholar Daniel, for the answer. Thank you so much. So the next question, I think the next question will still uh, go back to Scholar Amol. I think you mentioned something about this in your presentation. Do my choice of school limit my chances with PTDF? Is this Scholar Amol or Scholar Kendi that was talking about applying to the first best 500 schools? You know, I think, do my choice of school limit my chances of with PTDF?
No.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Let me. Okay, Scholar Hash, you can attend to that. I will just add
Okay.
Okay.
my own option to
No,
it.
no, it doesn't. But when making your applications, ensure the course you have chosen, the course you have chosen to study, and in the school which you have chosen to study the course is a reputable school that is known for that, because you can never tell which direction your questions during your interview is going to come from. Somebody is going to most probably throw a question at you never expected. That's okay. You want to study petroleum engineering, and then you are choosing Napier University in Scotland. Meanwhile, it's a school that has no facility close to any of the seas or any of those things. So, I mean, and the truth about the matter is that most persons who sit on the interview panel are former PTDF scholars, and some of them have traversed around these countries and have been on one visit or another to most of these institutions. So by the time you're picking a course and the course has little or no strength in that institution, I mean, it practically shows them during your interview that you don't know what you're doing. So whatever course you're choosing an institution, ensure there is a strong correlation between them, and you should be able to put up a good statement about that. But once you get the award, you are at liberty to change institution and change course of study. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Scholar Lasende.
Yeah, thank you so much. Do my choice of school limit my chances with PTTF? Like Scholar Ash have said, no, capital no, because you can still change afterward. But one thing I wanted to put at the back of your mind is each school have their strengths, each country have their strengths. So you have to do your homework very well before coming on board, because the human selection committee that you're meeting, you don't know where the person that you're meeting is from. Imagine you went to go and meet someone that is from that school you picked, and you now ask some question based on the school, and you could not provide an answer to them. That means you just lost that opportunity. So anytime you're going to meet the human selection committee, make sure that you're well grounded, because I told you the other time when I was going for my interview, I've gotten a supervisor already. I know that they will ask me, why did you choose the supervisor? What are the things that propel you to choose this supervisor? And what are the things, what are the achievements of this supervisor, and what have you? So whatever you're doing, make sure that you're thinking about the future, because you can't tell, they might call you for an interview, and it is based on what they have, the information they have, that you need to defend. So be positive have a positive mindset, so that whenever they call you for an interview, you can defend all informations. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Scholar Olasende and Scholar Ahmad, for the answers. Thank you. All right, the next question: can someone with SSE result combination stand a chance to get the scholarship? Maybe Scholar Esther wants to look into this.
Okay, first of all, I think I'll say yes. But then if you have one, you can use that has it all. So for example, in your WAEC, you got everything, but you lost mathematics. But then in your NECO, you have mathematics and you still have up to, 5 credits. Like the goal is 5 credits. It's not like someone asked earlier, I have 6 C's or all C's. Am I standing a chance? What they want to actually see is 5 credits. Yes, it could be 5 A's or 5 B's or 5 C's. But as long as but if you have like you don't have one certificate that maybe can represent it all, maybe either the WAEC or the NECO, then I think you can go with the combination. I mean, don't disqualify yourself before you get disqualified. Yeah. So that's my opinion. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Scholar Esther. Thank you so much for the answer. We go straight to the next question. As I am not part of any professional body and do not have any membership, will it affect my chances of getting the scholarship? Uh, maybe Scholar Daniel might want to answer this. Scholar
Okay.
Daniel,
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay,
yeah.
so here's the thing. See PTDF's grading system as 5 sections. First section, for example, is certification. The second section is work result. Third section is affiliation to bodies. And so these things are in section. Section 1 you might have 10 over 10. Section 2 you might have 5 over 10. So it's going to reduce your score, your cumulative score, but it's not necessarily going to, what's the word now? It's not necessarily going to disqualify you in quotes. So you might be stronger in section A, but not as strong in section B, right? So my counsel to you is that if there's a way to, but what you should do now is to strengthen your SOP and strengthen your ability to defend that SOP, rather than trying to magnify an area you don't have all it takes. Let me just put it that way. So what you should do is strengthen your SOP and strengthen how to defend that SOP, so that in a particular section you are getting 10, that would help cumulatively. That's all be my advice to you.
Sorry,
All right.
please, let me just add to that. Sorry. So first of all, the application is still open. You can submit your application without a membership certificate, but please do not go for the interview, in my opinion, without it, because it's a zero for that slot. Each certificate has its own number of points. You can get certificates between now and July. So you cannot say I'm not a part of any professional body. Be a part. There are many free ones, student membership online. You can't just give yourself a zero. This is you accepting a zero in the slot of professional body. I know someone who went last year. He had everything covered. He went with just 2 professional certificates. And the interviewer, they were so impressed. When they got to that point, they asked him, "You have just 2?" And then he was like, "Yes." He even explained that he won. He was still waiting for a certificate. He was like, "Ooh, we are sorry. We hope we can help you." So they sounded to him as though if you had more, your points would have been better. But why did you come with just 2? So please, at this point, yes, you can submit your application without it. But hopefully, if you get called, please don't go for the interview without it. You're really, really, really reducing your score by yourself. Because there's no reason to not be a member. There are many free ones. Register online, they download your certificates at the spot. So that should not be your reason to not go with anyone. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so
So
much.
in addendum, please let me quickly add something to it. I know our time is fast spent, but I just want to add to it. Now, you're competing with people from your state. So make sure you have this at the back of your mind, that you're competing with people from your state, not just everybody. So if you don't have any professional body or professional membership certificate and what have you, make sure you're able to complement what you have with that slot, so that it can fall within the aggregate. Do you understand? So, and you don't know the person that is coming from your state. When I went for my interview, I went with maybe, I guess, 2 professional body certificates and what have you. And don't be pressured, like I said earlier, don't be pressured to go and get 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira professional body certificate from people who start selling it on WhatsApp groups. Please don't be pressured. Thank you.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. I think our time is fast spent, so I'll just be selecting some questions. Some questions are like repetition, or you know, maybe they might have been answered at some point. So this question says, "Can I change university or country after getting the scholarship?" So maybe Scholar Amol might want to jump on this.
Yes, you can change country if it is France, Germany, or Malaysia, any of the 3 you applied for, but you cannot switch from any of these 3 to the UK. But you can change within the any of the 3 countries and any of the institution to any other course. If you apply to the UK is not just one country, it's actually 4 countries, but there are partner institutions. So it has to be you have to revolve around the partner institutions, around the courses, and that is it.
All right. Thank you so much. The next question: I have admissions from schools in the UK already, does it mean that I can use PTDF scholarship for funding even if they are not on the PTDF site? Scholar Amol.
There have been times where people got admission in schools other than those in partnership with PTDF, and they wrote to PTDF giving them good reasons why those schools should be added. In the case that the courses they have chosen to study is not obtainable in any of the other partner institutions. But if that course you have chosen to study in that institution that is not currently in partnership with PTDF is amongst courses offered by any of the partner institutions, you will be encouraged by PTDF to go to a school that is on their list. So to play it safe, shift your attention more to schools that are already in partnership with PTDF. That will save you a lot of the other troubles and bureaucratic or protocol required with writing and getting feedback back and forth.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for your answer, Scholar Amol. And this question is related to another question, asked up. So I'll just try to ask. Says, is it possible I win a scholarship if I study civil engineering and want to apply for MSc in international relation? And what will be your advice on the choice of school that is good in civil engineering? And again, somebody also asked a similar question, but his or her own question is, can a pharmacist apply for masters in chemistry? So it's like two people going for different courses. I think something like that have been said. But maybe the case of the civil engineering person is different, going to international relation. So I don't know if Scholar Kende can jump in on this.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me say the question again.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, you study civil engineering and from engineering to social sciences.
Yeah.
So it all depends on what is motivating you. And if you can tailor your research proposal or your SOP towards meeting the PTDF mandate, and you think it can fly, you can. Like I said, there is what we call interdisciplinary studies. There is multidisciplinary studies and there is transdisciplinary studies. So everything is interwoven. If you can solve a problem, like and meet with align with PTDF mandate, then it's fine.
All right. Thank you so much. Very quickly, the next question is: CV required for the scholarship? I think Scholar Daniel.
Okay, the issue of CV, yes, but what is CV? CV is just a summary of everything you're coming with, your WIEC, your certifications, and all of that. So just transfer everything you have into the CV. Yeah. So yes, if there's a space for it, please put it. But like I said, it's a summary of everything you're coming with to defend on that day.
All right, thank you so much. Scholar Esther, this is the last two questions that I'll be asking. The next one is, can I reapply with another email, right, aligning with all what I have learned? This is from someone, maybe the person have submitted an application before, and he has gotten some new information in this program. Scholar Esther.
No, please. Multiple applications is automatically a disqualification, and they will find out. So no.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the answer. And I think there's also one last question here. During the interview, can I go with the photocopy of my transcript?
Yeah, you can go with anything, any and everything. But for example, maybe transcripts will not be required from you, but then hold it. Go also with your international passport if you don't have with your NIN. I mean, for me, I just carried my file so that anything you ask, I will not be falling short. Every important document we know we have as students, transcript, statement of results, if you have your school final certificate, because for me, they required mine. Just document those important things. We know that if you need a job or an application, go with all your documents. It's not too heavy. Yeah, so that you don't fall short. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
In addendum to that, please.
Yeah, sure.
When you go for the interview, all original certificates will be cited. So make sure you are with them all, not just photocopy. All original certificate will be cited. So make sure you are with them, be prepared. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I don't think we may be able to take more questions. So, yeah, we may not be able to take more questions because of our time is fast spent and it has been a long ride today. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone joining us. Thank you so much, our scholars who had, sacrificed their time to join us for 2 hours plus, right, in this meeting. It's not easy, right? I understand that many of our scholars are busy with their project, with their research work, with classes here and there, and they've made it they've made a lot of sacrifices and efforts to be here today to attend to all our questions as well as to give us materials, right, that will be useful for our application. Thank you so much, scholars. Thank you so much, Scholar Amal. Thank you so much, Scholar Olaseyinde. Thank you so much, Scholar Daniel. Thank you so much, Scholar Esther. We are happy on behalf of HISF. We are happy to have you on board today. Thank you so much. I mean, I don't know if any of us have one final word or message for our listeners before we go. Okay.
Okay, so yes, I would like to say that it's first of all a privilege to have been here. Thank you. And also for those who did not get their questions answered, like I said, for me in my own time, yes, I attended one of these webinars, but not as detailed as this. I didn't get this much information from just one webinar. So I went to LinkedIn and I searched PTDF and I saw, oh, I had PTDF scholarships. You can send people messages on LinkedIn. I mean, you for example, if it's okay, even the scholars on this board, your LinkedIn handles, if they can follow you on LinkedIn and then you send your question. So if you still need clarity or maybe not particularly about PTDF, maybe for example, a school, University of this, University of Liverpool, you type on LinkedIn, you see students that are there with MSc University of Liverpool, send message, ask questions in case you did not get satisfied at this point. So yes, that's it. Thank you so much.
All right.
Let me quickly say something also. There is always a place for mentorship. Always, if you can see further than your contemporaries, it's only because you stood on giant shoulders. Please get a mentor that will put you through everything. I wish us the very best.
All right. Thank you.
And from me, I would say you have nothing to lose making an application. So once you have the opportunity, make that application because you stand the chance of losing 100% of the chances you would have gotten if you don't make the application. So always make an application. It leaves you with a lesson. You learn about your strengths and weaknesses, your haves and don't haves. So always make use of that opportunity and never give up. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Scholar Daniel, any final word?
No, I don't have a final word. My colleagues have rightly summarized everything. So good luck to the incoming scholars or prospective scholars. Good luck.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. And we have come to the end of the program. And again, please do well to subscribe on our YouTube channels, as well as stay tuned, as we are also going to be having other, webinar series in the next couple of months. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all.